Excuse me. Does everyone have access to their email?
I do.
Okay, I'm going to forward because at this point we're going to need someone as an acting chair. So I'm going to forward you the public notice announcement. It should be read. And I believe that Mr. DeLage has kind of created it for what we're doing now, with the Zoom meetings. So I will forward this to you at this point.
Do we even have enough? Because I'm only showing 1, 2, 3.
It is. I'm waiting for Ms. Frierson, and we could just give her a moment.
4, 5. Okay. So we got 5. I didn't see Terry's name, but I had to scroll over it. I see it now.
Gary, I nominate you as acting chair.
Huh?
So, Mr. Yankee, I believe it would be Mr. Dennis or yourself as the longest serving members. I'm trying to find the
Wow. We are the longest serving.
Notice in the rules, but I believe it would fall to one of you two gentlemen.
So if Ms. Frierson doesn't join, do we have a quorum?
No, we would need Ms. Frierson.
Yep, we need Ms. Frierson, but she would preside. No.
So what if you, Mr. Dennis, yourself or Mr. Yankee would have the longest continuing term at this point, because from where Ms. Frierson was off for that period.
That's right.
And so either one of you two would start the meeting, and then if we did have a quorum and have to have business, then we would need to designate an acting chair for the remainder of that time.
Okay. I gotta move some things around. Give me a second.
I have all my email accounts pulled up too. Oh, got something from Gio.
So we need Ms. Frierson for the quorum.
Quorum is a majority of the commission. So as we have 9 members, we'd have to have that 5.
Ms. Frierson is trying to connect right now.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Price?
Yes, sir.
Do we want to go ahead and start?
I think if you want to go ahead and do the meeting announcement prior to us taking any action, that would be okay.
Okay, so I'll,
Even though I do believe there's a part in it that references whether we have a quorum.
yeah, that's what I'm looking for. We don't have the quorum yet, so I couldn't call it to order.
Like I said, she'll be on it just a moment. She just got off the phone with her and she was just trying to connect.
All right.
Okay. I believe Ms. Frierson is on at this point.
Gio, I'm in. This is Beverly.
Okay.
Hello. Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 now, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's call the Richland County Planning Commission meeting for Monday, April 5th, 2021 to order. I'm going to read our public service announcement. Please allow me to read this into the record. In accordance with the Freedom of Information Act, a copy of the agenda was sent to radio, TV stations, newspapers, persons requesting notification, and posted on the bulletin board located in the County Administration Building. The Planning Commission is a recommended body to Richland County. Recommendations for approval or disapproval are forwarded to County Council for their consideration at the next zoning public hearing. You will have another opportunity to voice your opinion at the upcoming zoning public hearing. The County Council zoning public hearing is usually scheduled the fourth Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. via Zoom at this time. Please check the county's website for updated agendas, times, and dates. For those of us on the call, please make sure you have all your cell phones off and pagers. Applicants are allowed up to 2 minutes of reading. Citizens signed up to speak are allowed up to 2 minutes each, and a spokesperson is welcome for repetitive statements. Only address remarks to the commission. And since we don't really have an audience, please remember this meeting is being recorded. So when we're speaking into our microphones, make sure we talk loud enough so it can be heard. Please do not voice displeasure or frustration during the meetings. And from there, is there any questions from the staff at this time or for the staff? All right. So that's the public notice announcement read. We have some consent agenda items. Gio, we don't have anything for road names, right?
No, sir.
And we don't have any minutes for approval?
No, sir. You don't have those minutes. Those will be presented to you at the May meeting.
Okay. So we just have our map amendments coming
Yes,
up.
sir.
Does anybody have anything for the map amendments? We have 3 of them.
I know typically we look to see if any items should be placed on the consent agenda.
Right.
However, we do have comments of opposition for the first 2 cases, along with, comments from the applicant. And also we have a comment from from case number 3, or item number 3, which is case 21-010, and that's from the applicant.
All right. So then we're not going to pull them. We're going to talk about them.
Okay.
All right. So first we have case number 20-038MA. Roberto Garcia, RU to LI on 1917 Screaming Eagle Road. Staff recommends disapproval. Do we have any comments and anybody that has any questions?
Well, we'll need to read the comments into the record first, sir, before you.
Right.
Okay. So I think Mr. DeLage has those, and he will read the comments from the applicant, and we received 2, I believe, against the request.
Okay.
All right, and I'll start with the applicant, his comments. We just wanted to rezone it to have the trucks parked there, nothing else in the future. I'm planning to build my house there and have animals also. Thank you. And then we have one from.
I did not really hear that very well. Could that be read again? Since it was kind of brief, I apologize. I couldn't understand.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, so from the applicant, it says, we just want to rezone it to have the trucks parked there, nothing else in the future. I'm planning to build my house there and have animals also. Thank you. And then we have a letter from Miss Lord. It's addressed to Mr. Voyner, but it says, Dear Mr. Voyner, I have waited since December 7th, 2020 for this meeting to be heard, and I'm delighted that the time is near. I have been so distressed over this possibility. New developments have arisen along with new considerations that I think you should be made aware of. Tuesday, December 29, 2020, the surveyors were out today and cordoned off the 5 acres of their 19.98 acres, all next to my property, using the fence line / property line that divides the 2 properties from Screaming Eagle Road up to beside my home and behind my home. If this is approved, I will have no privacy. This is just not fair. As of July 2021, I will have lived here for 26 years. My property, 1925 Screaming Eagle Road, is higher than theirs at 1917 Screaming Eagle Road, and I would be subject to seeing all their employees, equipment, trucks, trailers, the trash they deposit on the ground whenever they choose, plus their noise 24/7. I'm attaching pictures to show you how close they want the land rezone, which comes up right next to me. This is a deliberate invasion of my rights and privacy. They're trying to force me to move and sell my property at a huge loss. Horse/farm people do not want to live next to a construction business. At my 72 years of age with numerous medical issues, including major surgery, this would create a monumental task, not to mention a huge monetary loss with little money to relocate myself as well as my 2 horses, if at all possible. I have no family to help maintain. My 2 neighbors are older than me. I have since found out that my realtor could have put a restriction on the 1917 property, preventing this problem for me, but instead she was only interested in getting it sold and receiving the commission. The realtor was only too interested in getting his commission from the sale as well. Neither realtor was concerned how this would affect me, and it is a prime example of taking advantage of the elderly. Most unfair. I beg you not to approve the rezoning of 1917 Screaming Eagle Road. Sincerely, Susan B. Lord. And then we also have a comment from Miss Kathy Hardman. Is that I am writing this letter out of concern of potential impact to the community if the proposed zoning change is approved. It is my understanding that the proposed change from rural to light industry will facilitate parking / storage of dump trucks at 1917 Screaming Eagle Road. Of concern is an increase to large vehicle traffic on Screaming Eagle Road. Traffic is already challenging with the garbage trucks accessing the landfill as well as dump trucks moving sand. We also have to contend with the logging trucks on occasion using Screaming Eagle Road. Let's see, before COVID-19, we had regular community meetings at the Sheriff's Department Region 7 substation. One of the issues raised repeatedly was the increase in traffic, specifically trucks during peak afternoon, evening hours. Traffic often backs up from the intersection of Percival and Screaming Eagle to as far as a half mile from the substation. I respectfully request before approving any zoning change, conduct a comprehensive study of current traffic issues, safety concerns, and road damage. Thank you in advance. And that is the last comment that we have. Mr. Chairman.
All right. Do we have any discussion on the matter? Do I have a motion from somebody?
If I might, first a thought and then a motion, if I could.
Go ahead, Mr. Gray.
This seems broadly similar to the issue I believe last month of a request to zone as light industrial for purposes of animal processing, and I think that as a thought for staff to consider, it seems like there may be utility in, as we are doing thinking about rezoning and comprehensive plan. I don't know if there needs to be some sort of ultralight featherweight industrial classification or something that would allow for if it was simply storage of vehicles, that seems like it's limited, but there's certainly concerns that this could be a much more intensive use. But based on what we have, based on what the comprehensive plan says, based on the current regulations, I believe that staff is correct that this needs to be disapproved. So if there's no further discussion, I would so move.
Anybody else?
I would move
I
to
second the
agree
motion
with
to
staff.
Tyson.
Hold on, we had Mr. Yankee first.
I'm sorry. I agree with that motion to agree with staff on this one.
All right, we have a
For
motion on the
disapproval.
table. Do I have a second?
I thought Mr. Yonkey was second.
Okay.
Yes, I'm seconding
Oh.
Mr. Grady.
Sorry. All right, so we have a motion on the table to move case number 20-038 MA to council as approval for disapproval as
Yes.
stated by staff. Let's do a roll call vote, please.
Okay, Yankee,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Grady,
Aye.
Taylor,
Aye.
Frierson.
Aye.
All right. So-
All right. That motion passes. So we are sending case number 20-038 MA for disapproval to county council.
Yes, sir.
All right, next case. And y'all have to give me a little leeway because this is the first time ever doing this. So having to remember Robert's rules out of the top of my head is not easy. All right, so we have case number 21-009 MA, 133 Bookman Road, reclassification from RU to RSMD. Do we have any comments from the staff on this one?
No, sir. Our discussion, just going over the staff report. Again, it is the location is at 133 Bookman Road. The applicant is requesting to rezone 27.73 acres from rural to residential single-family medium density. Staff does recommend approval of the request, but that's it's kind of more of a principal approval because the proposed rezoning would be consistent with the objectives outlined in the comprehensive plan for areas designated as neighborhood medium density, which is the subject site is located within. However, the request can also be viewed as being highly inconsistent with the character of the existing rural large lot residential development pattern and zoning districts along this section of Bookman Road. As a result, the request could introduce a zoning designation and development which is not consistent or compatible with the rural character of the area.
Okay, do we have any public comments for this?
Yes, we do.
All right, let's hear those and then we'll go into discussion.
Yes, sir. So we have the comment from the applicant. So this is from Madison Pickerel. In regards to case number 21-009 MA, we feel RSMD is the best use for this property as it complements the zoning of the adjacent properties. It also coincides with Richland County's future designation of the area and is beneficial to the future life of the tract. So that is all the comments we had from the applicant, and I believe all the comments for the rezoning case. And now we have a comment in opposition from Kelly Holyfield, 1417 Bookman Road, Elgin, South Carolina. Dear Richland County Planning Commission, I am writing to express my strong opposition to case number 21-009 MA regarding Bookman Road Acres. I am opposed to a multi-family housing development that will cause traffic and safety problems, create even more problems with schools that are already over capacity, and potentially lower the property values of the existing homes. Traffic and safety are major concerns of are major areas of concern. Traffic is usually jammed at the end of Bookman and Two Notch Road in the mornings as well as the afternoon, starting at 3 o'clock until well after 7. Traffic is bad coming from Kelly Mill Road onto Bookman Road because people are coming from Lake Carolina and other developments to jump onto the interstate this way. It has caused several traffic accidents on Bookman and Kelly Mill, as well as on the curve of Bookman near the entrance of Jacobs Creek and Briarcliff. It is all because the roads are too busy and cannot support all of these commuters. Schools in the area are already reported at overcapacity. This year, Jacobs Creek students were rezoned for Bookman Road Elementary, which increased our traffic numbers. The rezoned families had a choice to defer the move over to Bookman Road for one more year if their child was a rising fifth graders, which means they will have an even greater influx of students moving to Bookman Road Elementary next school year. Wildlife has been observed in the area and any development will destroy their habitat. Any planned development of the property should consider the continuing impact to local wildlife habitat. It's been observed that property values are likely to go down in the area if multifamily houses are built, much like surrounding areas which have had these neighborhoods pop up. We bought and built on this land over 15 years ago so our children could attend Bookman Road Elementary. We didn't want to live in a neighborhood. We wanted land and to live as much in the country as we could, but still not so far away from easy access to what all Columbia has to offer. We love to sit outside and enjoy the quietness and serenity that we have now. We won't have that with the neighborhood across from us. We will have lights all around us, cars going up and down the road. Speed limit is 45 miles per hour, but several motorists do not abide by it, and this will become a complete disaster and will cause so many more accidents than we have seen in the years we have lived out here. I just ask that you take into careful consideration that we did not hear about this until we saw the yellow signs across the street and received a letter in the mail about this rezoning. We don't even know if a neighborhood is what is in these plans, but we want to take every opportunity to remind the council of the repercussions of building neighborhoods in this area. It would be great for us to grow old and enjoy our country living like we had envisioned. Thank you so much for your time, Kelly Holyfield. Those are all the comments for this case.
All right, thank you for those comments. All right, let's open the floor up for discussion or a motion.
Okay, this is Chris. Hi,
All right,
everyone.
Mr. Yonke.
How you doing? All right. Looking around at the map, because I always refer to the map and what's going on in the area, and I don't see any other RSMD in sight. There's other neighborhoods that are RSLD, but nothing as dense as this. I think listening to what their comments were and driving through the area this past weekend doesn't seem like it's a good fit for this site. I'll leave it open for more discussion.
All right, do we have anybody else?
If I might.
Mr. Grady, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think I share concerns about this request, but perhaps from a different direction. This does seem like it is an example of potentially leapfrog development of leaving sort of the existing developed area. Would certainly prefer to see more housing closer to existing amenities, closer to existing employment. So I think that's my primary concern here. I certainly don't have any problem with developing housing in general, but this doesn't seem, while as staff mentioned, it fits the future land use plan. I think there's an inherent different future date implicit in that, because certainly different areas are going to be part of a cohesive development plan at different points in time. So if this was part of a more comprehensive development that was not just a single subdivision in isolation, I might have a different view of it. But as it stands, this does seem like it's not particularly consistent with either current land use or the comprehensive plan.
All right.
I have a
Noted.
question for the staff. This is Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, just curious, when the under the conclusion, that second paragraph, it says the request can be viewed as being highly inconsistent with the character of the existing. My question is, why would staff submit it for approval if that's part of the criteria? Is it just because we're looking at the exact letter of the law or the guidelines?
Oh, yes, Mr. Tilley, I think you're correct. We base our recommendations on the language found within the comprehensive plan and how the request relates to the comprehensive plan. But in certain cases, I think that there are times in which we as a staff, we want to point out that while it is consistent with the comprehensive plan and our recommendation, there are some other factors that should be looked at with the request.
Thank you.
All right. Does anybody else have any more discussion on this? Do we have, well, before we go that, I'll put in my little 2 cents. So driving out there, that road does get very busy, especially where Bookman Elementary School is. It can be quite dangerous sometimes coming down where Bookman and Kelly Mill connect each other. I do understand staff's recommendation for approval, and I also understand how it's not consistent. But when you start looking out over the overall area, you can see it starting to grow out there. So I truly think that, I don't think this is the time for it, but in the next few years, I can see it actually growing out that far. When you really look at the grand scheme of things in that area. In the Northeast, we got a lot of housing that's pushing out towards the border of Kershaw County. So I will entertain a motion.
I'll entertain a motion of, this is Chris again, disapproval. And I know I'm disagreeing with staff, so I need to come up with a better reason. Right. Just to highlight what staff says in their second paragraph as it being highly inconsistent with the character of the existing rural large lot residential development. And using my own observations, looking at this area, going out to the site, looking at the greater view in the map of there's some low residential around, but nothing for medium density. So motion of disapproval.
This is Frierson. I second the motion for disapproval.
All right, we have a motion and a motion by Mr. Yonke and second by Ms. Frierson for disapproval for the reason Mr. Yonke stated, in conjunction with it being inconsistent. Roll call vote, please.
All right. Christopher Yonke,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Grady,
Aye.
Taylor,
Aye.
Frierson.
Aye.
Yep.
Aye.
The motion is approved.
All right. So that was a 5-0 vote. We are moving case number 21-009 MA to council for disapproval.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, I'm the acting chair. Just like to point out to all of the applicants and those who are listening as part of the planning commission meeting, that the planning commission's votes are a recommendation for council, and the council will hear these cases on April the 27th at 7 p.m. And if anyone has any comments they would like presented to council, they can email those comments to planningcommission@richlandcountysc.gov. That's Planning Commission at richlandcountysc.gov.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Price.
Yes.
All right, moving on. This is our last one, it looks like. All right, so we have case number 21-010MA on 8930 Rabbit Road, existing zoning's PDD, proposed zoning PDD. So do we have any public comments on this one?
We have comments from the applicant,
All right. Please go ahead.
but I think prior to it, I'll just like go ahead and just read some of the particulars of the request into the record.
Okay.
Okay, this is case 21-010MA. The applicant is Kevin Steelman. The location is 8930 Rabbit Run. The applicant is requesting to rezone 175.5 acres from an approved PDD to an amended PDD. For those who may be trying to understand exactly what that request is, there was a previous approval for the overall general development of this site, and the applicant is coming in to make amendments to that approval. So that's why we have an amended PDD. But staff recommends approval of this request, as the amendment would be consistent with the objectives outlined in the comprehensive plan, in addition to the Southeast Richland Neighborhood Master Plan, or referred to as the CERN. Both the 2015 comprehensive plan and the CERN recommends a mix of residential uses and densities within neighborhoods, and the proposed PDD would allow for residential development consistent with these objectives. Also, the amendment from the originally approved PDD would include development at a lower intensity than what is currently allowed with the original PDD. And so again, staff recommends approval of the request. And that's it, Mr. Chair.
All right. And let's move on to the public comments.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, we've got a comment from the applicant, Kevin Steelman. It says, members of Richland County Planning Commission, I am writing on behalf of Land Tech in support of our application to amend the land use map contained within the PDD that governs the development of the Bunch family property located at the intersection of Garners Ferry Road and Lower Richland Boulevard and identified as TMS R2-1800-01-06. The land use map approved for the property in 2007 included commercial, multifamily, single-family residential attached, and single-family residential detached uses. We are proposing to keep those land uses in place, but modify some of the locations, acreage, and densities of each of the residential uses to accommodate our development plans for the property. The following summarizes the land use acreages and densities under the previously approved plan in our proposed amendment. So approved land uses and densities are 44 acres at 4 units an acre, which equal 176 single-family lots. 12 acres at 8 units an acre, which is 96 attached single-family units. 48 acres at 16 units per acre, 769 multifamily units, for a total of 1,040 units maximum. Proposed land use densities are 71.8 acres at 6 units an acre, for a total of 430 single-family lots. 10.7 acres at 8 dwelling units per acre, at 85 attached single-family units, 20.7 acres at 16 dwelling units per acre for 331 multifamily units, for a total maximum units of 846. In summary, the proposed map amendment reduces the overall maximum residential density by 194 units from the 1,040 to 846 units by reducing the acreage allocated to multifamily and increasing acreage allocated to single-family residential detached, which has a much lower density. We have also incorporated proposed development standards in our request, which will govern the development activity within each land use area. We believe that our request is consistent with the county's comprehensive plan for the area, and respectfully request that you recommend approval to our request to County Council. Let's see. I plan to participate in the meeting on Monday and will be available to answer any questions. Thank you for our consideration of our request. And that was it, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Let's move on to discussion. Do we open the floor up for discussion? Do we have any? All right, I got one real quick. Mr. Price, this area is really close to McIntyre Air Base, Guard Base. Does that pose, have we heard anything from them?
Mr. DeLage, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I can answer that. We did not formally submit anything to them because they are outside of the buffers area that's required by the state for notification. So we have not received anything from them.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was close to that buffer. That's why I wanted to ask. All right, that's all I have. Does anybody else have any other questions or motions?
I'll have a comment. This is Chris Yonke. All right.
Go ahead,
I
Mr.
won't
Young.
speak as it. How you doing? I won't speak as an employee of McIntyre. I'm speaking as myself, a citizen of Richland County. Just looking at the materials in our packet, it looks like, we had the PDD existed, and this is an amendment to this PDD. And the total residence count going down to 846 from 1040. As someone who drives through here every day, I think that works good for the site. So I would lean towards approving this.
All right. Do we have any other comments? Go ahead, Mr. Grady.
Yeah, I would say I'm a little bit ambivalent about this, because when I remember after in reference to a previous case, looking at the Lower Richmond Master Plan, which seemed to be, trying to develop a true node for that part of the county. Honestly, I would certainly prefer, honestly, the higher density that's currently proposed, but certainly I think this is still consistent enough with the neighborhood activity center definition and the comprehensive plan more broadly that I will support this if this is what the developer thinks is best for the site.
Okay. Have any more comments or a motion?
Is that Beverly with a hand raised?
I can't see if Ms. Frierson.
It appears that she's muted.
Can you hear me now?
I got you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I make a motion that we approve this map amendment in accordance with the staff recommendations.
All right, do we have
I
a
second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor from Mrs. Frierson for approval and seconded by Mr. Yonke. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
All right, Yonke,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Grady,
Aye.
Taylor,
Aye.
Frierson.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
That motion passes 5-0.
All right. So we have a pass motion for case number 21-010MA 5-0 to send to County Council for approval from the existing PDD to the amended PDD. And I want to remind everybody that's watching this on Facebook and YouTube or wherever you're watching it, the Planning Commission is a recommended body for Richland County Council. So we vote on these things and we go approval or disapproval, and they're forwarded to County Council for their consideration at the next zoning public hearing, which, if I'm not mistaken, you said that was 27 April at 7 p.m.
Yes, sir.
All right. And you can get those on the website, our Richland County website. And if you have anything for or against it, please contact the email listed on the website. And then going back, that looks like everything. We did talk about opportunity zones last time. I know there's a couple of organizations out there that are working for opportunity zones, and I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing for Richland County, especially with all the money that's being passed and infrastructure bill. And I really think if this infrastructure bill gets passed, we need to start looking at that also. There's some opportunities for us all in there to help this county for many different things. And it just depends on what we got and what gets approved in Congress and comes down to us. Next, we have a chairman's report. I don't have anything to report other than this was a short meeting and I didn't butcher it too bad. Does anybody else have any items to discuss?
Thanks for stepping in today, Mr. Dennis. Good work.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Mr. Yankee. Do we have the planning director? Does he have a report for us?
Yeah, I believe that report should be in your package. It's just the actions from the previous council zoning public hearing meeting.
Okay. All right. So we all have that. I just want to thank everybody for being here. Glad we had a quorum to get this done. Look forward to seeing y'all at the next meeting. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Dennis, before we adjourn, if I may?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to remind everyone, I mentioned last week that we were looking to begin moving forward or bringing forward the Rediscover Sand Hills plan before you all. So there is a draft of that online on the project website that I will be forwarding to you all. But if you all could begin, go ahead and take a look through that. We will be bringing that before you all at the next meeting. So I just wanted to go ahead and remind you all about that, and that we will be having a public meeting on it on the 22nd at 6 p.m. via Zoom. You can find a link in regards to that on the county's events page. So I just wanted to make that quick mention of that, so you all would be aware. But I will send you all that link directly to the plan as well as for that event. But I just wanted to make mention of that before we moved on.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Crooks.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Dennis.
Hold on one second. So for that Zoom meeting, when you email that link out, are you going to email us the Zoom meeting link also, or we're just going to watch it like everybody else?
I think it'd be working the same way with everybody. It's a direct link to that Zoom. So the link that is on the events page is the link to the Zoom meeting itself.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. All right, Mr. Price, you had something?
Yeah, just wanted to point out, if you look on your agenda, under item number 6, we have, we've kind of put a little placeholder there. It's called other items for discussion. And we just kind of wanted to put that there. So if there are any issues or any items that the Planning Commission members just, want to discuss, if you so desire, you can contact staff prior to the meeting and we will place that item on there. Like I said, I know some of the things come up and maybe, we just kind of get into some discussions, but if there's something that you would just like to put on there in advance, we can add that to it, or you can also do it at the beginning of the meeting prior to us adopting the agenda.
Thank you. Commissioners, now that Mr. Crooks has pointed that out to us about the Rediscover Sandhills. If you guys haven't got out there lately, please, I advise you to take the time right out there and kind of give that area a look, because this is going to be something big. I'm very curious to see everything in detail. I know it's been talked about for a while, and County Council has been pushing for it, so I can't wait to see it. Does anybody else have anything else? All right, thank you all for being here. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Gary.
Y'all have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see y'all at the next meeting.
Good job. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, staff. We appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.